Welcome to the United Constitutional Patriots Radio Show with your host, Johnny. They are still down on the border, on the Mexico border in New Mexico, and they caught over probably around 2,000 people so far. But anyway, I will let him give you all the news, what's going on down there. So I will now turn it over to Johnny. So here's Johnny.
Thank you, Pete, and good evening to everybody from the New Mexico border. I want to welcome everybody that's here tonight, my friends that are in Louisiana, everybody that I normally do. There's a list that's going on and on and on, but I'm recognizing all of you, and thank you, the ones that have made the donations, because we have really needed them bad lately. Now we haven't need them anymore. We do have some volunteers that have come in and joined us, been sworn in, very good men. And real quick, I will give you a quick update. It's just a few minutes ago, like a lot of you are on here a lot, and just as we come on the air, we seem to have these people from other countries come walking into our area, and we had 4 of them walk into our camp, and there were 7 more tried to go down around us. We got them too. So I am very proud of the fact that these people, there's 6. Okay, there were 6 others. However, this is something that's getting really serious, folks. Last night, the men got 99. Over half of them were unescorted children, had nobody with them. Now, there's a whole lot wrong with this. That's child trafficking, and the Border Patrol knows this. The night before that, we got 60, I was either 64 or 68. More than half of them were children. They're bringing the children in. Now they're saying that Border Patrol warned us last night, and I believe it's the influx they're talking about is starting already tonight because it's been regular quiet here over in the Annapolis area. But they said that we're supposed to be getting as many as 1,000 a day here very shortly. They've closed down the border checks on the highways and pulled their men off of the highways so they can help out. Like the Border Patrol was just here. First time I ever seen him. He was very nice. Thanks us for what we're doing. And said we're helping them. And that goes a long way with me. However, we have a situation, folks. We're still asking. We need donations, especially now that we have more people. We need more equipment. If anybody knows anybody who has some ATVs we can even use, it could cut our response down a whole lot. Now, again, a lot of you seen that we did hit Fox News. We are getting this exposed to what's going on. The liberals are literally fighting us now out of El Paso, Texas. There's a lady that I believe is a congresswoman. She come right out and said that we are untrained troops on the border, that we're dangerous, running around with guns. Well, she couldn't be more wrong in her life. The only way we're ever dangerous is if we're shot at. And then they better hit, because the men that we have, ex-special forces or former special forces, very well trained men, other men. We have people that were National Guard, regular Army, different aspects of the military. We are all trained very well. And everybody knows we do not point our weapons at anybody or anything else unless we are directly threatened. Now, our boys down right now, we have our men over on the other side, and where they caught 99 last night. And it's getting really, it's a game changer. We're not getting the normal influx of people we were getting. Now we have caught 4 people on the train and 1 coyote. Border Patrol shut the train down, found them. They were wanted criminals, MS-13. Then the following day, we got 4 more. Wanted criminals with records, with warrants on them in the United States, trying to get through, trying to get up to infiltrate the American people. Now, on the talk show that Jim went on the news channel here, they kept saying, well, there's a low crime rate in El Paso, Texas. There's a low crime rate here, and all these people are coming in. They're right, but they're shipping them out all over the country and not keeping them in El Paso. They won't let them stay in El Paso. So that kind of shoots their narrative down all the way. Now, what we have managed to do is we've managed to get more intel on what's across the border. We just found out yesterday there is an ISIS camp. You heard me right, an ISIS camp less than 4 miles from us in Mexico. And the Border Patrol says they are gearing up for whatever's going to happen. And they have told us to keep our head on a swivel. So that's telling me what's going on. And you don't have to paint the picture and show it to everybody, because I'm pretty sure you all understand what I'm talking about. Now, if you can help us with donations, we need them really bad for a lot of things. We need night vision now really bad. We need more. We need, well, not just night vision. We need ATVs for responses to get by, even if it's just to loan it to us. We need funds to help us with propane, with gas, because the new volunteers that come on and joined us and were sworn in with us, that very well trained guy, and Shen, I want to welcome you to the show. He's been out of his pocket bringing gas up to us. Well, the men that are on the border, that are fighting on the border, shouldn't have to do that, because we are down here representing the Constitution, the wall, the American people, and trying to keep these people from coming in so they don't get out in our communities and create the problems they've created in Mexico. That's what is going on. If you want to donate, please donate to the United Constitutional Patriots New Mexico Border Ops page. All you got to do is Google it. There's a PayPal on there. Please donate. We need help. We need help bad. We have more men coming in. 25 more that are coming in from California, and they are definitely coming. We do not have the funds to sustain all the men that are coming in. We need help to be able to feed them and help them. They're coming here to help save, how can I put it? We're trying to save America, the country. This involves every American out there within distance that can hear this broadcast. We're not here to be glorified. We're not here because we want to be. We're here because we have to be, for the American people, for the border wall. Get this border wall built. Call your congressmen, your senators. Yell, scream, holler, stamp, jump up and down, pull your hair out, whatever you have to do. Get their attention. The videos, you will see everybody we've arrested so far, or I'm not going to use the word arrest. That's the wrong word. Some liberal will throw it out, that we have detained for the Border Patrol. Everybody that we have detained, we have stopped from getting into the circle of America. President Trump has stopped the catch and release. Now when they go in, they take them in, they process them, and they return them back to Mexico until their court date comes up. Then they get their hearing. This is what Trump just did on his, I believe it was an executive order. But anyway, this is what we're up against. We need your help. We need to stop these people. Out of the 64, 68, the night before last that the men got, all of them were sick. Every one of them. This is not good, folks. They're bringing it to people in America. A gentleman was trying to find a motel here just a little while ago, and he contacted Jim, our PR man, and sent him a video. He couldn't even get in a motel in El Paso, because the ones that they have released he said it looks like a camp. There's no rooms. People can't people can't get into the hospitals because they're there, and they're getting the attention before anybody does, and it is on the Americans' dime. The taxpayers are paying for it, and people that live in the area can't even get into the hospital or see a doctor because they're so flooded with these people that are sick. This is affecting America. And this is how, if they get in here, this is how it's going to affect everybody. And that's what's going on. So, folks, if you can donate, like I said, please donate there. If you can help with us with ATVs, boots on the ground, we still need. We have a large area. We have 185 miles of open border, and we're in a small part of it, and the most dangerous part of it. We have traffickers coming in over at Columbus, child trafficking, drug trafficking, all the way over at Lordsburg. Same thing. Down in the Boot Hill, Animas, same thing. The civilians are screaming for help from us. We're getting requests for us to send some men out in spots in Arizona from people. We don't have the men. We're having trouble getting men here to protect this border here, where the biggest inflection of all of them is at. So please, if you can help us, boots on the ground, call me at 615-517-9599. If you can donate or loan the ATVs, call me at the same number, 615-517-9599. If you want to make a donation of food, sleeping bags, boots, socks, toiletries, water, anything you can donate, dry good foods, you can send it to the United Constitutional Patriots at care of John Horton or Mark Cheney at P.O. Box 1334, Flora Vista, New Mexico, 87415. And I want to give a shout out to a lady that went out of her way to help us. And I'm very proud to be able to call her a friend. Her name is Rochelle Gabriel. She's coming up tomorrow morning to pick up one of my men, or she has a gentleman that's coming with her for her. She's an elderly lady, a nice lady. And she's coming up, or she has a guy coming up that's going to take the men with a list, and she made a list, and she told me not to argue with her, so I'm not going to. But she made a list of stuff that she says we need, and she said that she supports us 100%, and she will do anything that help we need. That's a very great lady, and I want to thank her if she's in here tonight. I gave her the information how she could get in. She made a great donation that that things we need. And this is what it's about, America. We're asking for your help. We're all over the news nationwide, which debunks everything that these fake patriot groups have said. And I am proud of that. I'm proud of the fact we finally are reaching the American people and getting the job done. So with that, I'm going to turn it over. Where did does looks like Doc Robinson is Atomic Warrior around tonight?
No, sir, he's not.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I didn't understand you.
No, sir, Nuclear's not around tonight.
Okay. Well, with that then, Little Rebel, do you want to say something?
Here, help us out. We really appreciate it.
Keep going.
Pretty much this is my second day here, and I really appreciate it. I saw a lot of things that was never reported on the news, especially this is my hometown of El Paso, Texas. And I am actually, my eyes are more open than what I've ever seen. This is my second day out here, and I saw a lot in my first night. This is my second day, and I'm already seeing, as soon as I drive up, already some sneaks already coming up. So we would appreciate any donation you can, ATVs, any dirt bikes, off-terrain vehicles, batteries. Just come help be a true patriot and help our great country. I mean, just get out. And just God bless America. God bless all you.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it very much, sir. Okay. Little Rebel, you got anything you want to say?
A little bit ago. And I don't know how much more that we can express to the people what is happening. Don't believe us. I said, you need to get down there on the border because it's happening. So we need donations, we need boots on the ground. We need America to wake up. We're being invaded. And it's not that we don't want to help people, but you come the right way. But the problem, over 84,000 running around America. Free health care, they're getting all the free blood off our back. And I had enough. I have had enough. We got to do something. And we got to stop them. So we're begging you to please wake up. Pay attention, because if it's not in your backyard right now, you're living in another state like I am, Pennsylvania, it's going to be. They're already there. They're bringing them in by the busloads. Believe me. They're coming in every state. We need people down there. We need boots on the ground, and we need donations before it is too late. I don't know how much more we can express to everybody. So please share this, get the word out, and try, if you are awake, you need to wake up others, please. But we do need the donations. These guys need to be able to eat, and they need supplies. And if you can't be there, like I can't, you can donate. Thank you.
Thank you, little rebel. Oh, I know she's hot. Usually you can't stop her. But I'm going to tell you this something, folks. Also, too, we do have T-shirts. Little Rebel can tell you how to order them. That says United Constitutional Patriots on them. And this money goes to help the men and the women that are on the border and that are putting their lives on the line, because we are literally putting our lives on the line. We had a border shooting the other night. It wasn't us. It was Border Patrol. There was a gentleman came over actually came over the fence instead of walking around it, which all he had to do is walk 100 yards. But they came over the fence with 7 others. He had a weapon, pulled the weapon, and it threatened the Border Patrol officer, and the Border Patrol officer had no choice but to kill him. It didn't even hit the news. So you tell me, what's wrong with this picture? This is a serious, serious situation, folks. And now that the Democrats are going down, now that President Trump has been proven that he did nothing wrong, no Russian collusion, a lot of the Democrats woke up on that. I've seen a lot of remarks today that really shocked me. People know now their truth is coming out, and you need to spread the truth. Let them know. Go to our videos. Share our videos. They're in the United Constitutional Patriots New Mexico Border Ops page. These are live videos of exactly what we're doing, what we're running into, and what we're trying to cope with down here. We need help. We need help bad. We don't want Rambos. We don't want John Waynes. They've already been in the movies. We want people down here in the right set of mind that will help us to do our job without having to try coming down here thinking they're going to come down here and shoot somebody, because that's not going to happen. Only way that we're ever going to have that situation is if we're fired on first and we have no choice but to fire back. I want that understood, folks, because the news is saying, well, they're going to shoot somebody. The news even made the statement that 4 Minutemen, about 4 years ago, brutally killed some illegal Mexicans. Well, we found out, we did a fact search on it, and to start with, they weren't, it was a shooting that took place on the border in Arizona, had nothing to do with the illegals, and it had nothing to do with Minutemen. The Minutemen got a bad mark on that. And that was said by one of the leftists that was on the TV show on the when Jim was on Channel 7 on last night's debate. This guy came up with so many things, man. It's the videos in our is right there in front of you. Watch it. It is crazy. This guy is nuts. But with that, Reaper, would you like to say anything?
Just that I'd like to get some more boots down there on the ground. I know we got some guys coming up from El Paso. If we can get enough, I want to get some of the new guys sent down there with the other guys to start learning some of the ropes, see what it's like, and I sure wish I could get away from here and get back down there again.
Oh, you'll make her back, buddy. I know you. Atomic News, you got anything you want to say, young lady? Lori, are you there? I guess she's not there right now.
Yes, I can hear. I'm sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
You got me multitasking here, so I apologize for that. One thing I did want to say, I just wanted to clarify. Did you mention that there was a request for people to be on the Arizona border?
Yeah, there is. They contacted us and wanted to know if I could send some men, and I told them we're shorthanded here. But that's the situation now on the Arizona border, here, other places. And I told them, I said, if we could possibly in any way send men, we would. But we're shorthanded here. We're overwhelmed here. The Border Patrol normally is 1 to 4 people here. And while they're processing these people, there's 2 of them have to process them. And that leaves 1 or 2 to patrol an area between Columbus, New Mexico, and where we're at. And then they're catching very large groups over at the monument. That's where our soldiers are right now, a lot of them. They're over there, and they're catching very large groups. And when it's large groups, that ties up the preparation of Border Patrol for hours and leaves everybody shorthanded. And we have to set on these people until the Border Patrol gets here. So go ahead, Lori.
Okay, that did catch my attention because obviously, anybody who's listening or watches my channel, they know that I will be in Arizona permanently within the next 2 months. And we know that the Arizona border has been hot for a long time. So that may be something we want to expand on in the future once we hopefully have more people that come to assist.
Thank you very much. Now, folks, keep in mind, we do need these donations in the worst way. 4-star General, I'm glad you joined us tonight. How are you doing tonight, sir? I think he's probably okay.
Okay, yeah, I'm here. Everything's doing okay.
Okay, 10-4. Now, 4-star General, you don't see him in here often. He is my headquarters, second in command out of our headquarters division out of Flora Vista. He's he's military, you name it. He's the one that pushes all of our paperwork that has to be pushed to the government officials and stuff that we report to. And he's also the one that handles our account. So if you can donate, please donate. You'll see the name on it. It'll have the United Constitutional Patriots on the donation button, and it'll have Mark Cheney's name on it. So if you can help, I'd sure appreciate it. And I appreciate you coming in tonight because there's a lot of news updates that we can give you tonight, General Cheney. So with that, I'm going to turn over to Preacher and let Preacher give you the news of what's going on, and then we'll see if we have any more. And if anybody has any questions, ask. I will answer them. I will give you the most honest answers I can. Sometimes we get answers I can't answer because I don't know them, and I'm not going to tell you just what you want to hear. I'm going to tell you the facts. So if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Matt, I want to say hi to you out there. I want to say hi to Mike. Like I said, I want to hi CJ and Warren down in Louisiana, especially Mary, one of our very, very dedicated ladies. Very proud to have all of you on board. And with that, I'll turn you over to Preacher.
Well, all right. Yeah, we do. We do have a few news items here that we can throw at you. I mean, actually, to be honest with you, since we did our last show last Friday evening, some some pretty big things have taken place. Okay, interestingly enough, on Friday night, I guess, folks, that it came out while we were doing the show. And we found out about it, or we heard about it, I guess following the show, but it came out during the show, I think, or during the day that day, that, no, in fact, it was after the show, that Robert Mueller, we've all been waiting for the end of that joke of an investigation against the president, although I think some of us know that it wasn't actually the president that was being investigated, it was the deep state that's where all those indictments came from. But Robert Mueller, Friday evening, delivered his final report to the Department of Justice, to the DOJ, to the Attorney General's office, and kind of basically closed up shop, ended his investigation. Now, we were waiting for that mainly because Q had informed us in recent Qs, and by the way, I'll have the Qs here after a while, but Q had informed us in recent Qs that first would come the Mueller report, and once that was filed, once that was done and the roadblock was out of the way, then would come FISA release, the OIG report, the truth, and then justice. So, Friday night, blockade was removed, and that is in the Qs, as you'll hear in just a little while. The blockade was removed, okay, because Mueller did turn in his final report, and he then closed up shop. Well, just a couple of days later, now we were told at the time that the Attorney General was looking over the report, studying the report, and he could have his preliminary or his first report to Congress on the report itself, his preliminary findings on the report, rather, sometime during the weekend. Well, as it turned out, yesterday, the Attorney General, Barr, sent his preliminary findings to the House of Representatives and the Senate, so things were moving along a little quickly. And his findings were that the special counsel, Mueller, found that there was absolutely no collusion with Russia by President Trump, nor anybody in the Trump campaign. They found no collusion, and they couldn't prove obstruction of justice either. So the president was completely exonerated in the Mueller report. And of course, as you can imagine, it was a real gas to be over on Twitter at that time, during that period of time, because as you can imagine, the left wing media came unhinged. You had several mainstream media anchor persons claiming that there was a cover-up going on. Rachel Madcow actually wept on nationwide television over the fact that the President of the United States was found not guilty of collusion. Now, you know you've got some mental problems going on here when you've got people weeping over the fact that the President of the United States was found innocent, okay? And so And things have been moving rapidly since then. We've had a number of different high level, not necessarily high level, but fairly high level names that have gone down so far. That Avenatti, who was, I'm having trouble thinking of names. He went down today. He was indicted. So there was a New Mexico senator, I think it was a New Mexico senator or New Mexico representative that announced that he would no longer be running. He wouldn't be running in 2020 for re-election. So some dominoes are in fact starting to fall right now. The president announced that the whole thing was done illegally, so now the other side's going to be looked at. And so they're all kind of quaking in their boots, but that all big stuff's happened over the weekend. I've had a rather rough day today, folks, so I'm trying to rack my brain to remember. Guess what? It just came to me. Guess what? Rudy Giuliani. Okay. Who is one of President Trump's attorneys, and Rudy just happens to be a prosecutor. Okay? So, Rudy Giuliani walked into the First Circuit Court of Writs today, okay, and filed articles of impeachment against, drumroll please, Nancy Pelosi. So, Rudy Giuliani has walked into the First Circuit Court of Writs today and filed articles of impeachment against Nancy Pelosi to remove her as Speaker of the House, I guess remove her from the whole House of Representatives. So things are happening. They're quaking in their boots. It's the storm is here, folks. Things are happening. That's all that I have at the moment. Thought I would fill you in on that stuff, but I will now turn you back over to the commander. I'll look around and see if I can find a couple more things to bring to you when I bring you the cues. But for right now, folks, back to the commander.
Thank you, Preacher. She-Wolf, I know you got some things to say.
No, sir, I sure don't.
Wow, that's unusual. Anybody else have anything they want to say? Well, in that case, we'll go back to Preacher. Let him do his cues. Mr. Preacher, are you there?
I am here. I'll get to the cues in a minute. I'm going to scroll back and forth a little bit over here in the war room where all the news is posted, and get to a couple more items here, and then we'll go directly to the cues. I'm going to have a little bit of problem going to voice activated to do those because stepdaughter's due here any moment to give my wife her meds, so it's going to be a little bit tricky because I'll be heard. Everybody will be heard over the microphone. But a couple more items. Okay. Also, this was posted in our war room this morning. The first list of those to be indicted as soon as the next 2 weeks, coming up in the coming days, came out, and on that list are names like John Brennan, former director of Central Intelligence Agency; James Clapper, former director of National Intelligence; Sally Yates, former deputy attorney general; Susan Rice, former ambassador to the United Nations; Loretta Lynch, former attorney general; James Comey, former director of the FBI; Andrew McCabe, former director of the FBI, former director of the FBI. Wait a minute, Andrew McCabe, former deputy director of the FBI; Rod Rosenstein, former deputy attorney general. Okay, and that's 8 of them. There are a number of others. It looks like, from everything that's been coming out, everything I've been reading on Twitter, it would appear that Mr. Obama is about to go down big because Mr. Clapper, James Clapper, former director of national intelligence and one of Obama's top, what would you call him? One of his top aides, one of his top advisors, whatever term you want to use, within the whole realm of the attempted coup against the president, was just on, I believe, of all places, I believe it was on CNN, but I'm not for sure. Don't quote me on that. It might have been Fox, but it seems to me like it was CNN. He was just on there. And guess what, folks? He actually came out and admitted that Barack Hussein Obama was behind the whole thing, the whole coup attempt against this president. He was behind it. He was the top dog, biggest dog on the porch when it came to the coup attempt against the president. So you got big names fixing to go down in the immediate future. Now let me see what else I can find real quick, because I know there was other stuff. Okay, yeah, it was U.S. Senator Tom Udall of New Mexico announced he won't seek re-election. Okay, Michael Avenatti to be charged with wire and bank fraud. Okay, that was the guy that swore he was going to run for president. He was going to get the president of the United States one way or the other. He's now going down for bank fraud. And isn't it wonderful to watch the dominoes just begin to tumble? Oh, and by the way, another quick news item is that apparently our allies, the nation of Israel, is once again under rocket attack by Gaza. Israel launched a counterattack, and of course, as usually happens, immediately when Israel launches a counterattack against Gaza, against Hamas targets in Gaza, Hamas quickly asks for a ceasefire. So that supposedly happened. And while that's going on, President Trump met with the Prime Minister of Israel in Washington today, invited him there because President Trump signed an executive order acknowledging Israeli sovereignty over an area known as the Golan Heights area. So not only have we now moved our embassy to Jerusalem, we now recognize Israel's sovereignty over the Golan Heights, and the Prime Minister Netanyahu, was just beside himself. He was absolutely tickled to death at how the United States is supporting him now. Okay, from Twitter, we had from Joe M. says, see the wailing and gnashing of teeth by the media as they try to explain just the first in a series of impending tactical nukes. The next one is Mueller's full report showing not only a clean Trump, but the added shocker of Obama's treasonous attempted coup. So that's what we were just talking about a while ago. Okay, well, those are just a few more of the news items for right now, and I will turn it back over to the commander for just a few minutes, and I'm going to put this thing on voice activated, and we'll read the cues right quick.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. Ladies and gentlemen, I am asking for donations this time, and because we need them worse than we ever needed them now. Like I said, we have extra men have come in, good men. They're dependable. just as good as the ones that have been here, and they're out there right now on the line watching for these illegals to come across the border. So if there's a way you can show your support to these men, every penny is going to the border, folks. Every penny. We do have a pop-up camper that was donated to us by John Wilson, and I really appreciate what he's done. And that's how we cook our food. It's got a propane. We have to be able to purchase propane. We have to purchase gas for our generator, for food, for medical equipment. There's a lot of things we need it for. But if you can donate, please go to the United Constitutional Patriots New Mexico Border Ops page. Google it. It'll pop up. There's a PayPal account on there, and you can donate that way. Or you can go through, you can send donations with food, dry goods, socks, blankets, sleeping bags, old tents if you've got them, because that's what men are sleeping in. They're not staying in motels or eating in restaurants. So if you can donate these type of things, we need, like I said, we need more night vision. We need we need anything that can help us in the field to see these people when they're coming through at night, and we need binoculars. So if you can help in any way, please do. And you can donate gas cards, however you want, Walmart cards, because they can get things they need themselves with those. We can distribute them to the men. But if you can send that to the United Constitutional Patriots in care of John Horton or Mark Cheney, Cheney, Mark Cheney, at Post Office Box 1334, Flora Vista, New Mexico, 87415. Or if you want to be boots on the ground, call me at 615-517-9599. We'll tell you exactly where we're at, how you can get to us, and give you any information that you might need. Now, I tell everybody, we do vet everybody. We have to, because we're working with the Border Patrol, helping them hand in hand, assisting them every way we can, and trying to take the pressure off them, which we've been able to do since we're down here. We've hit national news so far. We made front page news, headline news in the second largest newspaper in this part of New Mexico. We're opening eyes. We're getting videos out. We're sending videos to everybody, news media. In fact, right now we have a national TV station out of Tennessee. And they are putting together right now. They're going to do a reality show on us to go on national TV on your power channels. It's a reality show, but it's showing facts. Nobody's actors in it. What you see is exactly what we're doing. They want to do this to help us to make this public so people can really see the truth of what's going on. Now, the gentleman that joined us, Chin, when he came, like he said a little while ago, he lives here. He had no idea what was going on. It opened his eyes just in 2 days, yesterday and today. I mean, it opened my eyes. I never, in the worst way, could have thought I would see what I'm seeing on this border. It reminds you of being in a foreign country, or in some areas, in some cases, like you're on the DMZ. It's not good, folks, and it's dangerous, but we need help. So I'm asking you to please make the call, donate, do what you can. And if nothing else, if you can't do anything, you can't afford anything, pray. Pray for us. Prayer is the strongest thing there is above money and everything. We need prayer. We need help. We need your prayer. And we need the American people to join us so we can open the eyes and say, build this border wall. This is where the border is the most dangerous. This is where people are getting killed. It's not good. Please help us any way you can. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to Preacher, where he can do
All righty, well, we're ready. As we head over now to do the cues, our colleague here, she will just posted something a while ago, said just in military exercises to be held in Phoenix Tuesday night. Now, as we have come to learn by experience, many times these military exercises turn out to be cover for something else, shall we say. Okay. Let's see. Okay, let's see if we can get through these cues right quick. Okay. All right, Q 3161 starts off with a Twitter status from Live Breaking News that says House Intel Committee Chair Adam Schiff says that the panel is willing to subpoena Robert Mueller to obtain a clearer picture of the contents of his report, CNN. And then there's a cue that was posted back in February. It was the one that started off with the minus 30, minus 45, minus 60, and minus 90. And at one point it says House D's threatened subpoena of Barr Whitaker regarding D-class. Special counsel report, Huber. House D's use subpoena power to Acts 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so the question is, how did they know? That's a Q proof. They already knew that the Democrats, okay, would do that. All right, and then Q posts, and Q adds to that and says blockade removed. Q 3162, he repeats that one and then adds a Twitter status from the president. Says it was announced today by the U.S. Treasury that additional large-scale sanctions would be added to those already existing sanctions on North Korea. I have today ordered the withdrawal of those additional sanctions. And then Q says, sanction lift, Anons no, Q, and Q 3163, and Anon posts the same Q with the minus 30, minus 45, so on. And down below, it says, they're in the green, it says sanctions lift. It's back in February. And the Anon says, we knew. And Q says, at what point is it mathematically impossible? Power is being returned to the people. The rule of law is being returned to our great land. Where we go one, we go all, Q. Q3164. And Anon posts and says, D-class is a coming. And Q confirms that. Okay. Q3165. Q not only confirmed what the Anon said in 3164 that D-class is coming, but he also says this. They, in the kill box, that's the deep state, they thought it was coming last Friday. Ammunition spent, Q. So, instead of this past Friday, 3 days ago, when it actually came out, when the Mueller report actually came out, they thought it was all coming the Friday before, and they pretty much spent their ammunition. Q3166 is another Twitter status, and it says, okay, Devin Nunes said this is the unraveling of the biggest political scandal in American history. This began nothing more than nothing less than a Clinton-Obama operation with a bunch of dirty cops at the FBI and career Justice Department officials that were part of it. Okay. And let's see, Q3167. Honey? Hold on a second, Commander. I got to answer the door.
Okay. While he's doing that, folks, I've said pretty much everything I know how to say to make people understand what's going on. And we do have new listeners, and I want to welcome all of you tonight. But please, if you can, make a donation to us. I'm sure it's posted. I can't see the screen. I'm working off of the phone right now. But if anybody's got any questions while we're waiting on him, you got any questions? Anybody ask anything, ladies and gentlemen? We're not in Arizona. We are in New Mexico. And this is the only place we're dealing with right now because we're being overrun here. I can't tell you. We don't have any men in that area. I do have a list of the patriot groups over there that I do know, but I don't have them with me, that are dependable, that are good patriot groups. But I don't have the numbers or the names with me. I'm in the field. I'm on the border. And I wish I had brought it. Sorry, I can't help you. Okay, thank you, Peter. I appreciate it. Are you back yet, Chuck? Okay, Chuck's still dealing with that. But, folks, these guys are putting their lives on the line down here. I know it's hard to believe. It's not supposed to be happening in our country. But if you go to our videos, look at them. You'll see what we're doing. We never know who is coming across. We never know if there's somebody armed in there that is going to try to shoot one of us or what. These people coming across are desperate. And it's not because of the money. We have people coming in from Brazil, kids wearing $700-800 boots. I'm talking about ostrich skin boots, and this is a fact. Dressed better than most Americans, wearing jackets and coats that would cost $600-800. I'm talking about your leather coats and your fancy clothes that the rich people buy. They've left a couple of packs, but they tried to get rid of some of them to show their packs. In the packs, we found money and other stuff, which we turned into Border Patrol. These people are not coming here except for one reason, to vote Democrat. Now, today they did vote. I guess the House voted where illegals can vote. Chuck can confirm that when he gets back. But this is what we're up against, folks. This has gone too far. This is America. This is where the red, white, and blue, the flag waves and has waved for over 200 years. And it's going to stay waving because we're going to keep it there. We're going to do that as a unit, as united. Our listeners, share this show tonight with as many people as you can. Let them know the truth. Get the truth out there. Share it to the liberals. Let them see the lies that they're spreading are catching up with them. Because we do need your help. We need it in the worst way. And America needs the help. The patriots that are out there, we have some good patriots out there, folks. I'm not saying all of them are this way, but there are a lot of them are busy on their own borders. But this is going out to you patriots. You call yourself patriots that took an oath to defend this country and said, we will be there. We have your six. Where are you at? We're on our way. A couple of them we sent money to help them get here, and they didn't show up. Where are these keyboard warriors at now? They claim to be veterans. They claim to be Americans. If you're an American and you have a means to come down and help on the border and you don't do it, you know what? You're as bad as the left. Hate to put it that way, but that's how I feel. You know? Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to add on to that.
You want to what?
I want to add on to that.
Go ahead.
Yeah, all these people coming across the border. California is falling right now because we have 100,000 homeless people, 50,000 in LA, and about 30,000 in San Francisco, and pretty much in the other little towns, there's a lot. The homeless people, it has gone out of hand because of we're letting in all these people in where they can't afford to help the homeless, so they're helping the illegal aliens or immigrants instead of the homeless people. So please, we need to take care of this. Back to you, John.
Thank you. Now, Troy called me. Troy will be coming down with some of his men. As I told you on the last show, they did have a firefight. 3 of his men were killed. And now the Mexican government is trying to turn on Troy's group in Troy. So they're not going back to Mexico. They're coming down here. And that's why we need help. We need money. We need supplies. Because we have to take care of these men while they're down. And we don't have the money in our account to do it. And this is what we need. And why we're so strong on voice and what we need. I don't know what else I can say, folks. I mean, for 8 months now, we've told you this is coming. And everybody sat back and said, well, it's not going to come. And our listeners have picked up. Our listeners have responded. Our listeners have made donations. And it's so highly appreciated. I want to give a shout out to a really good friend of mine who is a real supporter of us. And that's Ken Anderholt. He's in Texas, him and his brother. The ranchers, they were involved in the Red River when the Bureau of Land Management was trying to take their land from them. And we were there, boots on the ground, to help that man if he needed it. We waited. And it wasn't just him. It was 130 some miles of the Red River. We were there for the ranchers. And, you know, this man is a strong supporter of us, and he does everything he can. He's a hard-working man, lived down there. They've owned that land for generations, and he's the man that beat Border Patrol at their own game through his lawyers. And when Border Patrol was originally, they were kicked out of the state of Texas. Can't go back. And now they had something else that was going on. I can't remember what it was, Ken, but I'm going to have Ken in as a guest again here one of these days, really shortly, so he can inform everybody of what's going on down there. But I want to welcome you, Ken. I know you're listening, and I love you, brother. And thanks for all your support also. So with that, are you back yet, Preacher?
Yes, sir.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. I had to take a break for a moment, folks, because the stepdaughter came in to give my wife her night meds. And so I had to back off for a few minutes because we didn't want all the noise to be on the air. All right, so we were at Q number 3167. Got a few more to do here, okay? And it starts off with an image from a Newsweek. Says Fox News reporter quotes tweet from QAnon related account on the air. Now that was interesting how that happened because this was on Saturday, the day after the Mueller report came out. And of course, again, the mainstream press is all beside themselves trying to explain how it's possible that this president was completely exonerated in this report, had egg on their face. And this one news reporter was talking about the report, and then she decided to do one of those segments where here's what they're all saying, and showing tweets from Twitter. And the very first tweet that came across her screen there was from an account called QAnon. And you should have seen the look on the news anchors' faces. They were extremely uncomfortable. Anyway, and the announcer says, cool, they're covering our movement. We are the news for sure now. Okay, and then there's a link, to that Newsweek article. And Q says the simple fact that this made the news.
Hello?
Multiple articles should tell you all you need to know. Number 2, regarding attack.
Yeah, I guess it's a two-piece chicken.
Post tracking sites now censoring, adjusting visitor counts.
Yeah.
Panic. Q. Okay, then
All right.
we have Q
She
number
wants to share.
3168, and it
All right.
shows
Bye.
an image of Jim Acosta, one of Rachel Maddow, and one of Chris Matthews. And the Anon says, okay, FBI clash, DOJ biased, FISA source text, McCabe page. That's a Fox News article. And then it says the mainstream media seemed to suffer, a collective shock Friday evening after the Office of Special Counsel Robert Mueller handed its final report of its Russia investigation to the Department of Justice. And Q says their only defense is to play dumb, shocked and surprised to avoid collusion claims. Nobody walks away from this. Q. Okay, Q3169. You are witnessing the collapse of the largest pre-planned and coordinated propaganda event in modern day history. Projection 101. Q. Q3170. Okay, there is a Twitter status that says, let's see, 1 million protesters joined historic march for second referendum telling MPs give the decision back to the people. So 1 million protesters, 1 million marchers, marching for a second referendum on Brexit. I don't know how many times those people have to vote over there to leave the European Union before they get it done. That May woman is a little bit off a rocker, but that's what this Q is about. And Q says, it's talking about May, it's in capital letters, May, May Day, May Day, May Day, May in capital letters. Democracy matters, the will of the people. Actually, it's a republic that matters, not democracy. Okay, the will of the people, united, not divided. Where we go one, we go all. Q. And then Q3171 is an image that I didn't care too much for, but it says Democrats haven't been this mad at Republicans since we freed their slaves, and it shows a picture of the Army in Northern Virginia. Okay, well, 85+% of the men that served the Confederacy never even owned slaves, so that war wasn't about slavery. But anyway, that's what that image was. And then Q repeats that image in 3172, and then has an image of President Trump saying, "My turn," because he's fixing to free us from the deep state. And then Q says, "Meme misspelled, but drives the point across." Q. And then Q3173, in brackets is an IB or an LB. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Then it says, all of us have been antsy for the hammer to drop, but we will remember this time, the time before we knew the next big scene. This is historic. And Q says, calm before the storm. What happens when a blockade threat is dismantled and removed? You'll find out. And I found this interesting, being what we're all doing on the border down there, and what our men on the border are seeing, and what have you. The next line, Q says, children used as shields. Now, my fellow patriots on the border will know what I mean by that when I say I found that interesting. Children used as shields, manufactured crimes of perjury, fire at will, Commander. Q. So they're telling the commander-in-chief to let go with his Moabs at will, I guess. Q 3174 is an anon that posts and says, he says, you may start your attack run, which Q confirms that. Okay. Then in Q 3175, he repeats that image of the Confederates and says Democrats haven't been this mad at Republicans since we freed their slaves. And then Q says, why are they, Killbox, attempting to rewrite our history? Democrat Party con. You can run, but you can't hide. Q. And then we have, and these are from today, these are the new ones today. Okay, we have an image, this is Q 3176, by the way. And we have an image where it shows a series of news media people. Okay. Senator Jeff Merkley, Jay Inslee, Mark Warner, Joy Reid from The View. I think that's who she's on. No. She's a news person, mainstream news person. Elizabeth Warren, Kamala Harris, and Tom Steyer, all using the same talking points. Remember their 4 a.m. talking points? They're all using the same talking point. They're referring to Attorney General Barr as President Trump's hand-picked Attorney General. That was their 4 a.m. talking point. He's hand-picked, so of course he's going to find in favor of the president. All right? That's what they're saying. Then there's a Time magazine cover that looks like a picture of the Kremlin on it. That's in Russia. And then Q says, people around the world are waking up to the fact, not fiction, that the corporate Democrat Party, politically controlled, 6 corporations own 90%, media, fake news is not unbiased journalism, but politically motivated and controlled statements, not facts. Think for yourself and stop being a sheep to their narrative. They will be held accountable. Nobody walks away from this. You. I'm looking forward to seeing that particular group of people, ladies and gentlemen, getting what they've got coming from them, for them, to them. And I'm sure you are too. Excuse me, I'm getting tired. Q number 3177, we're almost there, folks, says, and this was interesting, because remember when the Attorney General did his report on the report, his initial findings, it was him and Rod Rosenstein that delivered those initial findings, that there was no, that the Attorney General had found there was no collusion, there was no obstruction, and then Attorney General Barr and Deputy Attorney General Rosenstein together determined that there was not sufficient evidence to go ahead with anything on obstruction. Interesting, since Rosenstein was supposed to be a black hat. Well, here's what Q says about it, folks. Q 3177. Why didn't POTUS fire Rod Rosenstein after reporting regarding offer to wear wire? Why did Whitaker Barr retain Rod Rosenstein to the end? Who signed off on the Mueller summary report submitted by Barr yesterday? Who signed fraudulent FISA warrants? Who appointed Mueller as special counselor? Who has full control? Optics are very important. Q. Okay. All right. Then Q 3178. Q says the only way to regain the trust regarding equal justice under the law regarding White House, regarding Intel, regarding FBI, regarding DOJ, regarding Senate, regarding Congress, regarding Five Eyes, regarding our government, of the majority of the American people is to provide truth, transparency, and prosecution of all those who knowingly took part in this illegal, manufactured effort, attempted coup to take down the President of the United States. One in kill box. I'm thinking one might be the top guy, Obama. One opens the door. Great Awakening. Q. Okay? And then we'll probably have to go to it and get it when it's posted on YouTube so we can watch it in its entirety. But Q in 3179 said, listen and watch Sean Hannity today. Q. So Sean Hannity evidently had something too, and we're running a little bit over on our show, so we'll see about getting that for you as soon as we can. Q 3180. All right. Is okay. It's okay. It's a video from the Commander-in-Chief, from the President, where he was talking to the news media today. He said a lot of people have done treasonous things, and that's all going to be, says that's all going to be looked into. And Q said, listen very carefully, digest the full gravity of what the President of the United States says in this clip. Now, if you'll go to qmap.pub, you can read all the cues for yourself, folks, and you can as well click on all of these links and read them for yourself and bring yourself up on. You can get quite an education by going to qmap.pub. It's all there. That's qmap.pub. Q3181, okay, has a image of the statue. They call her Lady Justice, I guess. The scales in one hand and the sword raised in the other, and she's blindfolded. And Q says, blind justice under the law will return to our republic. There is a reason why a sword is held. Okay. Q3182. And Q says, thank you, Anons, for bringing this to our attention. Be careful who you follow. Follow the money. Follow the expenses. And again, there are several links there that you can click on and read. One is it has to do with expenditures. Okay, one is from Sebastian Gorka. All right. Okay, how do you support suspected tax fraud? Just several tips there for how you can help report these things. Okay, Q3183 is a Politico.com story. Jeffrey Epstein case. Okay, judge in Jeffrey Epstein case dies. I think this guy was like 97 years old, but he was still a judge, and he was overseeing part of this case, and he passed away. And Q says, do you believe in coincidences? Okay. Q3184, we're almost there, folks. Q3184 is a Twitter status. Oh, yeah, and it shows those we were talking about, the talking points, the hand-picked Attorney General. Okay. All right. And Q says, you are the news now. Q3185 is a Justice Department Twitter status. It says, alleged dark web child pornography felicitator extradited to the United States to face federal charges. So there's the guy that is a facilitator of child pornography on the dark web. Okay, and he's been extradited to the United States and will face charges. So some big dominoes are starting to fall, folks. Q3186 says, let's see, it's a dailybeast.com. Anthony Camelo Gambino, mob boss, shooting suspect, radicalized by QAnon, so-called far-right sites, even Trump lawyer says, okay, that was the guy that had the Q in his hand. He was on trial for murder. When the constant barrage of fake news attacks fail, those who are the biggest threats, nothing to see here. Number 2, Q. Okay. And then number Q3187 is a FoxNews.com article. Trump allies await results of 2 internal probes that could expose Russia investigation backstory. So there's more coming out. All right. And then just before we went on the air, we had 2 more Qs come up. Q3188. Okay. An anonymous post. We got a cannibal data brief from threatknowledge.org. A vendor receipt from threatknowledge.org. And the company profile is there. And it says repost all pics. Another 60K recipient from MAGA Coalition. Website gone. However, look who it was owned by. Notice HQ city, which is McLean, Virginia, which is the headquarters of what, folks? Think about it. Ain't that the CIA? I think. Anyway, and then last but not least, we have Q3189. Okay. And from John Solomon, we have a Twitter. We have a Twitter. Says Trump Russia collusion story did affect an American election. The Dems won in 2018. Okay, that's his. Okay. John Solomon is a little bit on the strange side. There's a couple more things there. Polls showed the impact of Russia coverage on voters. About half the American voters declared they believed Trump or his aides colluded with Russia, even though they hadn't. Yeah. Well, you know, the vote was, vote fraud. So, okay, John Solomon's latest Trump-Russia collusion story did affect election. Won the Democrats won in 2018. My latest column that's the Hill, and Q acknowledges that, and that's the check here for just a second. I want to refresh and see if any more have come in since. And only one did, and it's another Twitter status from the Hill. Okay, this is Sarah Sanders. She says they literally accused the President of the United States of being an agent for a foreign government. That's the equivalent to treason. That's punishable by death in this country. That was her statement. And Q says, this is Q3190, by the way, folks. And Q said, in answer to that, he says, without a blockade, shield, they are left vulnerable, exposed. Q. And that's the Q's for tonight. Commander, back to you.
Thank you so very much. Before I forgot one thing that is kind of important, and I don't know how I forgot it. I guess because I'm really tired. We were up a whole lot. We got a call today. My wife Faye got a phone call, and she gave me my number to call me. And by the way, she's in the house tonight. I want to welcome you, honey, and I love you. But it came from the head of the Republican Party for the state of New Mexico, telling us that if there's anything we need, if they can do something, they will. They're going to try to help us out also down here. And they thanked us for what we're doing down here. They had seen us on the TV show where they had the debate on Channel 7 here out of El Paso. And, you know, I don't know how many of you seen it, but it was probably one of the best debates because everything that they tried, everything they did trying to trip Jim up, Jim put them back right in their place. It was so fake what the guys were saying that Jim actually laughed, and then he got the point in. One of the big points was people were calling us a militia. We are not a militia in any way whatsoever. We're a patriot group. We have taken the oath to defend our country, no matter what. But see, we don't just do this kind of work, folks. If there's a hurricane, tornado, whatever it is, we're there. We're trying to be first boots on the ground to help. And that's what we are. We're a humanitarian group. And we treat these people with humanitarian ways. Like the four of them that we grabbed before, just as the show was getting ready to start, while we were running late, was 2 adults and 2 children. I believe that one of them was a teenager. I'm not sure. But I know the other one was a mother. And I asked them if they wanted some aqua. And they said yes. And it was hot out here today, folks. It's getting really hot. And I had my lieutenant go get some water for them, and they drank every bit of it. They didn't waste any time. So, you know, we're not here to hurt nobody. We're here just to stop them from coming into our country, to keep our country safe. Every time we get somebody in, you know, it's the taxpayers' money that is taking care of them. To process them is costing money. But they are taking them back now to Mexico. So Trump did do one hell of a good job, and I'm really proud of him. And in fact, he's supposed to be here in El Paso Saturday. And we're hoping that that we get to see him. He has given his recognition. One of the cues they're talking about is where they're using kids for human shields. That's what these people are coming across, the runners, the ones that are with them that are they're basically criminals. Well, they try to run and they'll have a child with them and they'll use the child for a shield in front of them. They bring these kids across with them. If they get across, these are not even their kids. And that's what's hard to believe about all this. They're not even their kids. They come across, they get through us, then they have a place to sell that child to get them money. And that's what they do. Then it goes into child trafficking, where they kill the child, use their body parts, sell them. It's a big money deal that's going on, and the American people have to wake up to it. But with that, I want to have Chuck give the evening prayer if there's no questions, and then I'll do the closing as usual. I want to welcome and thank everybody who's here tonight. We're here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 o'clock Mountain Time. And we try to give the news, true news, and we don't paint anything pretty. We want you to know the truth. People say, well, how can it be? Well, the truth is the one thing that we make sure you get, because the fake news doesn't give it to you. So with that, go ahead, Chuck, if you don't mind, and say a prayer for Pete, because I know he's in pain tonight.
All right, sir, we'll do that. And trust me, I know how he feels, because I got pain in the same area. Okay, here we go, folks. If you'd bow with me, please. Lord Jesus, we come before you right now to thank you again, Lord, for this another opportunity among the many that we've had to come here and do this work that we do here in defending our country, defending our Constitution, our rights, standing with this president to restore this country to its greatness. We thank you, Lord, for this team that you've assembled here. It's a good one. And we do a lot of good work here each and every day. We're some of us out, but we do it because of the love that we have in our heart for this great country. And so it gives us great joy to be able to do this. We thank you for our many great listeners who come here each and every time we do a show. They're always here with us, and they do their utmost. They do their best to back us up and support us, and give us the encouragement that we need to keep on keeping on. And we appreciate them very much. We ask you to bless them. We also, Lord, ask you to continue right now your loving watch care over those men that we've got standing watch on the border. I understand from the commander that a few more showed up down there now, so there are a few more boots on the ground. But we ask you, Lord, to let your blood of protection be upon them. Let your angels be encamped around about them, stand watch over them. Encamp your mightiest warrior angels around them, Lord, and enable them and help them to complete their mission. And we ask you, Lord, to continue with our president as he is doing a wonderful thing, doing many wonderful things right now. And we're entering into a critical time when your agenda, the main part of your agenda, is about to come to fruition. The hammer is about to drop. Justice is about to be served. And we ask you to be with him. Be with all those working together with him to the betterment of our country and the defeat of the deep state. We ask you to bless them. Let your blood be upon them and your angels encamped around about them. Watch over us all now, Lord, and continue with us throughout this night and into the coming days. Continue to guide us, guard us, and direct us. And draw us ever closer to one another and ever closer to thee. For we do ask it all in Jesus' holy name. Amen and amen. And John, I got one more thing I'd like to say, if I may.
Go ahead.
And that is, folks, as we enter, I'm going to let the commander close with his great comments in just a few minutes. But as we enter into this critical time period where justice is about to be served, hammer's about to drop, D-class brings down the House, the OIG report, justice, okay, indictments being opened, served, as we enter into that critical period of time. And we know that this is, and I'm speaking from a ministerial perspective here, we know that this is God's agenda. Not just President Trump's agenda, but it's God's agenda that President Trump is working to. And when we speak of justice, I'm reminded of a quote from one of our founding fathers, a man by the name of Thomas Jefferson, who once said, and I quote, "I tremble for my nation when I realize that God is just and that his justice cannot sleep forever." Ladies and gentlemen, his justice is awakening right now. Commander, back to you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. You know, ladies and gentlemen, this country was founded by God, guns, and guts. It's a fact. Otherwise, we wouldn't have the freedom that we do have today. What little bit is left, but we're getting it back. The American flag has been flying, and it's going to continue to fly. It's not going to touch the ground. Because I believe that every true American will be out there to do what has to be done to conquer and divide our country and put it back on the right track by conquering the deep state. That's what I mean by conquer and divide. You know, we're in one of the worst situations in history. For the first time in America, we could have an all-out war through the whole United States. This isn't like the Civil War. This is where the whole United States, the Western states, were not involved in the Civil War. This is where it's going to affect every American in the United States of America. And that's what you need to think about. That's why we're asking for the donations, because we want to try to stop this from happening. We want to be able to put enough men on this border to protect all of us, because New Mexico is wide open. We're the only armed forces on the New Mexico-Mexican border for the whole state. 180 or 100 and I think 156 miles of it that's not fenced. They got one spot that's fenced over in the Santa Teresa area. This is where they know it's wide open. Our governor has invited them in. We need boots on the ground to stop this from happening. So if there's anything you can do out there, please call me at 615-517-9599. You can find our... yes, go ahead.
I'm sorry. 13 just caught over at Monument 1. Only thing, they're not walking across the flats anymore. They were caught up in the hills. I guess they did try to run. 2 El Salvadorians, 2 Ecuadorians, and the rest Guatemalans. So they're just packing them up now.
Okay, I appreciate that, She-Wolf. See, and this is what it is. We're stopping them from where they were coming in, so now they're trying to go around us, folks. You know, this is serious. And it, you know, people say, well, you shouldn't even be down there. You know what? We're down here because America is in trouble. We need the wall. Build that wall. We need the wall. If a wall was where we are right this minute, right now, these people would not be coming across. They couldn't. They would try to find other ways in. Yeah, it's not going to stop everybody from coming, but it will slow it down to about 99% of the people are not going to get across. I'm down here. I see it with my own eyes. The men and women, the brave men and women that are out here in the field with weapons, protecting our borders, you know, they're the only ones here. They're the only ones here. Where are the patriots, the true Americans? If they go around us, we've still got men in Columbus area, but where the major of us are down here, because this is where the trouble is. This is where we need the help, so we can put men all the way across the state, down to the Boot Hills, all the way to Lawrenceburg. We can do that. We can stop it. Literally, we can stop it. But we need the help. You know, with my closing remarks, I want to thank all the law enforcement that listen. And folks, remember something. I say it almost every show, and I don't try to just repeat myself. Those police officers are out there to protect you. If you're being robbed, you're in a car accident, if you just need someone to talk to, they'll come. They're there. They're not out there because they want to arrest somebody. But if you break the law, they're going to arrest you. You know, suck it up. If you do something wrong, you know, pay the consequences. That doesn't make you a bad person, but they have a job to do. Then that's all they want to do. They want to do their job and go back home to their families that they love too. Same way, our military. Man, when you see someone in the military, shake their hand and thank them for what they do. They put their life on the line. You know, they're soldiers to protect you, to protect your country, to protect our flag, your Constitution. And that's what it's about, is the Constitution of the United States of America. If you don't have a constitutional booklet, contact me. I'll see to it that you can get one. You know, keep a pocket one. Study it so you know what you can and can't do, and you know what you'll know your rights. That's the problem. People don't understand it. But, it's not that hard to understand. It tells you your rights. You're an American. You have the say-so. You are the government. We, the people, are the government. We, the people, need to stand together, shoulder to shoulder. Stand with Trump. Stand with our military, our first responders. Thank them for what they do. Our patriots. They're putting their lives on the line for you, folks. Just same as we are down here. I know when I first came down here, my wife Faye, she wasn't too happy about it. But now she sees what we're doing and she understands, and she's very supportive of all of us. And I'll tell you, the way she is, you mess with anybody down here, these boys and these men down here, that's their boys and girls. You mess with them, you're going to have a hurricane on your hands. So I don't mess with her. But anyway, this is what the situation is, and you need to understand. Pray for all of us. Pray to God that Trump is successful in everything he's doing. Stand behind him and vote for him in 2020. Let him finish the job he started, because no president in history has ever done what this man has done in the 2 years that he's been as our president. And he's my president, and I'm proud to say that. And I know that each and every true American says the same thing. So with that, I want to say good night. But I want to remind you, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, we are on the air with truth, news, and facts, and what's going on the border, with videos. If you want to see the videos, or you want to make a donation, just go to the United Constitutional Patriots page. It says United Constitutional Patriots, New Mexico Border Ops. All the videos of everything we're there, how we're working in unison with the Border Patrol, and you will see for yourself. This is not an easy job. We get maybe 2-3 hours of sleep a night. But you know what? We're here because we love America and we love you. With that, good night, and God bless you. God bless America.
Thank you for joining the United Constitutional Patriots Radio Show. Our next show will be on Wednesday at 6 p.m. Mountain, 5 p.m. Pacific. And I want to thank all the Patriots for listening to our show tonight. And God bless everybody, and have a great night.